calm down. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري وأشرك في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. الحمد لله رب العالمين.
We are reading from the Seedbed of the Light. We are on part 14 of the Book of Creation. This is page 7 for us. And we were discussing the 6 sides of the luminous truth of divine unity. And
which is, what is luminous? Luminous.
Apparent or clear.
Oh, no. What are we talking about?
We've been discussing different proofs in regards to divine unity, or the proofs for or evidences for the oneness of the source of the qualities that I see in the universe that I experience. And last week we went through 4 of them. We were on the 5th one. So I was hoping that I would read the paragraph again today, and then we can pick off where we left off.
Yeah. Why I asked this question, what are you talking about? Truth as it is represented in the message of the Quran, or any revelation, supposed to be, but the Quran is out there. Why, especially the Quran, at least the text of the Quran is preserved, so you can have an access to it. The other texts are ancient texts, and no one can guarantee that they are preserved in their original form. But regardless, if we find out that Quran is the word of an eternal source, it means absolute knowledge, pure, clear, and we understand the message. It means whether the corrupted form, if it is corrupted or not, the other revelations, all the books that claim to be divinely inspired originally, in their origin, whether the already existing form of the book is the origin or not, regardless of discussing and saying this is a corrupt text, this is a corrupt text. Meaningless to argue. Look, the origin of this text, whatever it is, must be divinely inspired, because Quran says they also come from the same source as my source is. So we will have a comfortable heart that without needing the investigation, further investigation, whether this text in its origin is correct or not, or corrupted or preserved exactly as it is. Doesn't matter, because here is a new one, repeats the same thing, repeats the same essences. And if you are satisfied with the new one, which is historically proven that it is original text, is preserved. So you can interpret, work on it. If you are satisfied with it, automatically you are satisfied with the original all texts. previously. You can. Some people may say, which the people say, not may say. Some people say that Vedas or Bhagavad Gita, you might have heard of it, are divinely inspired. In fact, right? Not only Torah or the Bibles. Okay, maybe, yeah, okay. But the last version renews everything. Why should I bother? I'm satisfied with it. Why should I go to study? I'm not saying that we shouldn't read Bhagavad Gita. Lots of different wisdoms reflected there in the course of time. People developed on it, people worked on it, and made some sort of explanation. Maybe the text became larger. All right, but origin of all is the same. Why should I bother? The essence is in my head. So without being exclusive. So it is very important not to be exclusive. Without, Jews are wrong. Okay? I can equally claim Muslims are wrong. Can I not?
Yeah.
We Muslims who claim to be Muslims can corrupt ourselves easily. So when the Quran gives the example of the Jewish attitude, which was known tradition to the first addressees of the Quran. That's why Jewish attitude. We discussed this matter earlier. What does the Quran hint there? Yeah.
Corrupted attitude, maybe?
Mm-hmm. What does it explain?
Sure, not in line with your true human nature.
Sorry?
Not in line with your true human nature. So if you're just doing an act just for the sake of doing it,
No, don't be specific, in general.
Okay.
When the Quran talks about how the Jews corrupted the text or misunderstood and misrepresented the religion, what does it mean really? What does the Quran mean?
Reducing the speech of the source of one's existence to whatever values or mode of life is prevalent in a certain society.
Mm-hmm.
That could be one
So,
reason.
what is it to do with those people who read the Quran?
It does not, then if you take the speech, if you reduce the speech of God to such, then it does not really satisfy all aspect of your human side.
No, but general.
Okay.
It means very simple. All the readers of the Quran don't do the same thing. Finish. Whatever the Quran criticizes, however the Quran criticizes the Jewish attitude, it is a warning to the readers of the Quran. Don't fall into this mistake which historically done. That's very simple. Yeah, very simple. Yeah, we are not going into the detail. What did they do? In many places, the Jewish attitude is criticized in the Quran, but we use it as a source of hatred for Jewish people. Forget about ourselves while we are doing the same thing. It's incredible. Because we don't take it for ourselves. We take it for others. It's very easy to blame your neighbor. Correct? That's what we are missing. We read the Quran for the sake of Jews. How horrible people they were. How about yourself? Since you are not taking notes of it for yourself, you would be doing same thing. It is inevitable.
There is something said, if you spot it, you got it.
Sorry?
Something is said in English, if you spot it, you got it.
Spotted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I spot some mistakes in you,
Yeah.
You are that's such and such and such.
I think.
Means I'm reflecting,
Yeah.
objecting my mistake on. I can see it clearly in others.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't see it in myself.
So if what the Prophet says clearly, if you blame somebody, you will never die before doing the same thing in your life. So if we keep blaming Jews rather than looking at us, it means the Muslim community, or I don't know, Muslim or something, whoever reads the Quran will not die without falling into that mistake in the same way. Because we blame others. We didn't read it for ourselves. So clear? So it's simple. Eh? Why don't we get it? So simple. Because ego doesn't want to see the mistake in him. All the good virtues, yeah, when the Quran says, for example, there is a light and guidance in Torah. Yeah, original one. Exactly, correct, original one. Now, when the Muslims write commentaries on the Quran, devout Muslims, hardworking Muslims, very deep scholars, what do? They do the same thing. They narrate from Jewish history. You already found that you have already fallen into the same mistake of the people you blamed for. So simple. Because the volume of the book commentary should be fattened and fattened so that it will look scholarly done. Not the essence. It's very difficult to find, there are, but very difficult to find a commentary on the Quran. Yeah, I can see sometimes, as far as my studies tell me, sometimes there are, but general appearance of the commentaries on the Quran seems to be doing the same thing as the Jews did to Torah, mixed with history, historicized it and made it into history. And Jews historicized it for the history of the children of Israel. Muslims historicize it for the history of the Muslim community. There is no difference. Both of them are historicizing, not the essence of the message. It's very difficult to find a community which really concentrates on the essence of the message, because it needs deep thinking and self-analysis. That is important. It means you have to look at yourself. What are you doing? That's why if somebody gives an example, look, there are some people, common people cannot do that, etc. Excuse me. How about yourself? How about yourself? Speak on your own behalf. Why do you speak on somebody else? It's so simple. But read the Quran for yourself. Look selfish, be selfish. First educate yourself, and then you may be helpful for others. Okay, that is in fact, description of the Quran. Also, the same author gives the same argument when the author speaks about the nature of the Quran with these 6 aspects mentioned. That's why it is easy for me to say that this is what the Quran is all about.
So I'll start at the beginning of the paragraph, just to refresh ourselves. All 6 sides of this luminous proof are transparent and clear. On it is the seal of manifest miraculousness. Beneath it are logic and evidence. To its right is an ascent of intellect. To its left is the testimony of conscience.
We studied up to this, so these are very important principles that we have to follow while we are reading any text which claims to be divinely inspired. Quran is one of them, and the latest of them. It's worth to study the latest one and see if it is consistent or not. If you find that the Quran is not really consistent as it claims to be, okay, go back to Torah. You cannot go back to the Bible. Bible is just not what Jesus taught. Bible is 4 Bibles are generally available. Now, canonical Bibles. They are just life biography of Jesus. Not really exactly what Jesus taught. Includes some fragments in it. Okay, but not purely. The Quran says, look, I am only the word of God, and Muhammad's own interpretation of the word or any kind of behavior is the aspect of the Quran which is understood by the Prophet or Muhammad himself. So he practiced it as he understood the guidance from the Quran. That is completely different text or sets of text. This is what the divinely claimed text. This is what the Prophet who presented it to people said about it or act according to its teaching. But they are completely separate. There is no way to find any interpretation of Muhammad in the Quran incorporated. No. That's why to study the Quran first is the safest. But it doesn't mean that accept it as it claims to be. No, you will study and see if I can accept it. Confirm it as a human being. Don't say that, who am I that I am going to judge about word of God. If God was wise, he would speak to me within my own capacity, as far as I am concerned. He will speak to you within your own capacity, as far as you are concerned, because God is speaking, eternal source, absolute source is speaking. He should know that I'm going to read it. You should. By definition, if by definition, God speaks in general and he doesn't know the specific points, it means God creates the universe but doesn't know how the atoms are going to function. To me, it is not God, it is fiction. I don't believe such thing. Impossible. So the one who is absolute, by definition, must know in details and as a whole. It means particulars and universal side of everything. By definition, infinite has all numbers. Otherwise, cannot be infinite. So if infinite says, no, I know generally what the numbers are all about, but I don't have the individual numbers within me included. Is it infinite? And in human logic or mathematical terms, is it infinite?
No.
No, it must be included. All the numbers must be driven from it. So every atom must be driven from it. Every moment of existence of the universe must be driven from it, from the infinite. That's by definition. So the source of existence of every single being at every moment must be directly under the command and the will of its creator. That is what absolute means. So if the Quran claims that I am the speech of absolute, so he must know that as an ignorant man, I am going to, non-educated man, I am going to read the Quran and make sense of it within my own capacity. But within my own capacity, I can work with others, try to increase my capacity by going to a school, education institution. So increase my capacity, but at the end of the day, still I will address myself to the Quran as if speaking within my already existing capacity. I cannot claim I grasp everything, but I must be expected to grasp something within my own capacity. But if my capacity is so narrow, it is my problem, which is not the source's problem. I have to enlarge it. If I say, no, I have no time for it, I'm running a business, I have no time for it, it means that's my choice. If I say I have no time to go to a school and to become a computer engineer, that's my choice, and I will never be a computer engineer. Yeah, if I don't study the Quran, I will never be the believer in the Quran. But my heart is pure. I really appreciate the computer engineering. It is an amazing subject. Does it make me this understanding, this pure intention, in quote unquote, it's stupid intention, but pure intention, does it make me this pure intention and a computer engineer? Obvious, isn't it? That's what we claim. I believe in the Quran. Do you study? Yeah, I really believe in it completely, but I have no time for it. Okay, you should never become. Yeah, you should never wait to become a computer engineer unless you go and take the course, study. But to be a believer is very cheap. Without studying, but you know why? Claim is very cheap and easy. You can claim everything. You can claim that I am the president of America now. Claim, even king or emperor. Claim. Make it yourself ridiculous in the eyes of the people. When I say I am a believer without really thinking, using my ability to a certain extent, I am a believer. Yeah? I'm making myself ridiculous in the eye of my Creator. But I have to attempt. It's so simple. Many different things come into the discussion. I cannot proceed, but I don't mind. I don't know whether you mind or not. These are simple things, but we don't pay attention to them. Simple, but we don't do it. Why don't we? If it is simple, do it then. Okay. Now, difficult one, the fifth aspect, sight. What's that?
So in front of it's good. Like, to its left is a testimony of conscience. In front of it is good and happiness in both worlds.
Yeah, in front of it is good and happiness in both worlds. It means this source aims at to reach this point for you and for me, for the reader. So what I am expected to receive from this source after exposing myself to it, or let it, after letting it expose itself to me. The both things, if you don't want, it doesn't really expose itself to you. Both things are the same to reach a goodness and happiness in my life. Wow. Okay. Ask. Everybody should ask.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why, I guess, why focus on these two particular attributes, or like, I mean, it could have been meaningfulness and purpose. It could have been something else. So why
Yeah.
focus on happiness?
And it may not be meaningful, but also brings happiness to you. Is it? What do you mean? Or did I understand you wrong?
No. I'm just saying why good and happiness as opposed to any other more, I don't want to use the word more, but any other value. Like if it said in front of it is purposefulness and meaningfulness in both worlds.
Okay. What else do you want?
Well, I'm just curious to know
No,
why. Yeah.
So we are saying, why only this?
Yeah.
What else do you think that, why the other things are excluded from this purpose? What are the other things so that we are saying it should be there as well? What are they?
For me, I guess meaningfulness, purposefulness, contentment, which somewhat overlaps with happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meaningfulness. Okay. Can you be, it's a good question, actually. We have to understand that. Can you be happy if you find something meaningless? No. On the other way around, can you be unhappy if you find something meaningful for your existence?
You shouldn't be.
You shouldn't. Yeah, you shouldn't be. If we are not prejudiced. So that, for example, I will have this, I don't know, this pencil simple, and I will be happy. And I had it, and I'm not happy still. It means I am cheating myself that happiness lies in having the pencil only. It means it's my mistake. Not the fact that the pencil is not the source of happiness, but my expectation was distorted, corrupt. That's why I didn't understand. The happiness and meaningfulness didn't coincide with each other. We have to summarize it. I mean, the text says, we shouldn't be prejudiced about the text sense at all. This is the only way to explain it. Good and happiness will somehow represent all human expectations in general, because meaningfulness is the most important of happiness, because if something not meaningful, you can never be happy at all about it. That is the corollary of it. It means, if you find that meaningful, then you will be happy. That's how we are created. Now, we can corrupt ourselves, that's correct, but it would be our mistake. For example, if I close my eyes, I won't see it. Now, it will be my mistake. But if I don't close my eyes, what is the automatic result of it? I don't close my eyes.
You will see it.
You will see it without any effort. That's your innate structure, if you like, how you are hardwired. We are. So happiness is like this. Unless we distort, we must be happy with our existence, with the existence of everything. Unless we distort ourselves, corrupt ourselves. So this is so essential Example, I will give you an example. Practical example. Whether Christian, whether Jew, whether Hindu, whether Muslim, regardless, everybody claims to follow a certain source. And we see that there are very happy Muslim families, yeah, and there are very happy Christian families, they are very happy Jewish families, whatever, or Hindu families. They are content with it. Okay. But other way around is also correct. There are many unhappy Muslim families, Muslim people, and Jews and Hindu unhappy. What's wrong with us? It means we are not benefiting from the source if there is something wrong. But Quran says, look, in any case, that's the Quran's claim. If you follow me, you will definitely be happy. But the obvious example is this: Judaism or Christianity in general, not the people. Guarantee this?
Happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can they guarantee? When you read the Bible and interpretation of it as it is presented to you, to be frank, when I read the Bible, but the real Bible only consists of, I read and studied seriously the Gospel of Thomas, which consists of only sayings of Jesus. Whether it is true or not, I don't know. I don't say, but they say this is the original form which is available. I felt comfortable. I felt happy until the last verse. If you read the Gospel of Thomas, you will never find anything contradicting to your nature. That's what I did. I don't know whether you are a different human being. We were studying it with the Muslim and the Christian community mixed. It was an excellent experience for me. I was interpreting everything as far as I learned from the Quran, and it fit into the teachings of Jesus and the text, available text. But the last verse didn't, because it was against women. Contradicted the reality of creation. So if a text says, I am from the maker, for example, okay, there is a manual book of a machine. It says, I am from the engineer of this machine. Okay. Read it and apply it to the machine. Doesn't work. What do you say? What is your conclusion? What your conclusion would be?
There would be two conclusions. Either the machine is corrupt, malfunctioning, or the manual has a flaw in it.
So there's a flaw in it. Either maybe changed or it is not prepared by the engineer. So somebody didn't know exactly.
Isn't there a third possibility, which is we're misinterpreting the manual?
It means, actually something is corrupt either in me and in the machine, right? That is a possibility, but you have to check yourself. Just sit back, be comfortable, and am I using prejudices? We use prejudices. Right? Before the class, we discussed something, you see, is meaningless, and we think that is correct. For example, and that was out of this question. That's possible. So you have to check yourself, maybe check with others as well. I think in this way. What do you think? What do you think? With others, other traditions, other cultures. People come from other cultures, so that you will be maybe some community like Muslim community, Jewish community, especially keep repeating the same thing within themselves, so they feel comfortable in their comfort zone with the mosque and Jama'ah or whatever this community setting. They say, whatever I say, no one opposes. It means I'm right. And the other one says also, whatever I say, no one opposes. That is right. But we have all corrupt bases. Possible? So we have to go check with us. For example, go and speak to an atheist and see that your belief makes sense as a human being or not. But be careful. Is he using bias idea in order to deny what you say and contradict what you say? Or is he a free-thinking human being? If this man is innocent and free-thinking, I experienced that. There was a guy who said he's an atheist, a young guy, a college student. And okay, let's talk. No problem, come, let's talk. And I found out that he's an atheist because his family presents Islam to him coming from Muslim background in an atheistic way. So he reacts it, but he doesn't know that his family presents Islam, nothing to do with Islam, as a culture. And when he rejects the culture, he thinks he's rejecting religion. So it is, of course, safe to be an atheist, reject religion, because it doesn't make sense. We didn't talk much. We said, okay, all your reactions are correct, but they are not religion. They are your family culture. Because he was growing, college students, young college students, freshman. I think this guy was sophomore or something. Young one, standing up on their own feet. That's how it's created, how everybody is created. So wants to oppose the family first. No, I'm here too. Don't ignore me. Yeah, I exist too, independently from you. I am a different person. That's how we are created. So looks for any excuse to conflict, to have the conflict and separate from this family. That's how we are created, to be an individual beings, freely approaching the creation and coming to accomplish. I said, you are right. I don't agree. So I am as atheist as you are in this case, if it is atheism. But you are, I think, getting resented or resentful, being resentful from the way you are presented Islam and thinking that this is Islam and rejecting it. No, this is not Islam. That's the only point. Okay. What happened? Maybe 3 or 4 months later, I found him praying in the masjid. Why? He thought about it, and he is always respectful to me from now on. Before he was opposing in a furious way. Now, respecting a lot, I understood that he made the distinction so simple between not Islam, but the family culture. It means if someone freely thinks, not repeats what he heard from the community, it means that's just a repercussion of echoing of each other's ideas without reasoning. I think I am right because somebody approved it in the community. The same person thinks he's right because I approved it in the community. That is the danger of being limited with a certain community. You have to open up, speak others, see what they think, and come to yourself, come back to your own life and question it, whether it's true or not, within yourself, without having no bias at all. I really believe that all those people who are either scientists, thinking people, common people are not my concern. I cannot help. If a professor is teaching I'm not a professor, example, God forbid, teaching in a college. There is no student coming to his class. No, a person who is not a student in his class and who is not learning, therefore, who is not learning what he's teaching in the class, right? And he may be doing something else, whether studying something else or not studying at all. It may be, this person may be a janitor working there or a staff doing administrative work. Does it bother that they are not learning? But those people who come to the class, and if they don't study, concentrate, and learn what he's teaching, bothers him. That is the difference. We have to come to the class. Class means want to learn by ourselves, not imitate, learn. You can hear what the teacher says, what the Quran says, what you hear from others, but you have to learn it not by imitating, but confirming by yourself. Imitation without questioning is wrong. So the main problem, if you really see intelligent people who are using their intelligence but not agreeing with what the Quran says ultimately, they don't get satisfaction. I look at them carefully, why they are not feeling happy. Now, why are they are not feeling happy? Because they approach existence, life, and interpretation, understanding of life on a bias base, which is religion is trash. I went to the church, I went to the mosque, and I spoke to people which claim to be Christians, which claim to be Muslims. It did not make sense to me. Okay, correct. And jump to the wrong conclusion, saying that it means religion is wrong. Excuse me? How do you know? Have you studied religion itself without attributing it to a certain community and practical side of these people? Have you studied religion, what religion essentially says? They say no. If religion is wrong, I know you want to say something. If religion is wrong, then all religions based, that's very general. I must have repeated on many occasions. That's what my impression is. That's my personal experience. If religion is wrong, all religions are based on believing God, so believing God is wrong. That's the conclusion. Since there is no God at all, how can I explain the word? Close the way to the possibility that there may be a source of existence of universe which is not within the universe. That is impossible. What do I have to do now? What am I left with? Explain the existence within itself. That's what you read of philosophy, based on bias. Then they say, we have to be free. But it doesn't realize exactly the same attitude is happening on the side of, well, maybe happening, most probably is happening on the side of the believers. I looked at the universe. It must have a creator. That's it. I believe in God. And so well, I'm created by this God as well. Okay, that's fine. So what am I expected to do now? Follow the religion, what it says. Action. Jumped into action. So talk about action. For example, if you go to a mosque, do it. See, if you pray, they pray as well, and you pray. You are a person who prays, all right? Now, in a slightly different way. Slightly different way. Do you see all the eyes are on you, judging about you? Where is belief? Where is belief? On action. And on one certain form of action. So if the eyes is looking at you, for example, here I look at this guy and do the same, but don't misunderstand at all, at all. I look at the long hair like it. This is what I mean? Do you feel offended or not? With my look. With my look. Like, this man criticized me. Well, you are mature enough to ignore me. But a young boy, definitely, a young person, definitely in the culture, offended. So, I mean, you are a mature man. That's why you say, come on, I don't care others. I do my, that's right for you. But people feel very, very uncomfortable. For example, if a girl comes into the, unfortunately, women's section of the mosque, which is the most favorable part of the mosque usually, and without covering, and then she's going to pray. Now she's covering. People look at her. Did you remember that we are a Muslim now? When you start praying, that's like this. That's enough. I felt many students kept away from masjid in our college because of this look. Nothing. Just look. Finish. Then they cannot come again. But alhamdulillah. NYU, that's why I prefer you. And I identify myself with the practice here. Practice, not theology. Theology is unique to yourself. Practice. Everybody comes and does everything freely. Do you feel anything at all? If you feel something, I'll go and ask, Imam Khalid. No, people are feeling uncomfortable. Now, if you come up with niqab, you can. You come up with, nothing at all. As a woman, boys are not clear. That's why I cannot give it. So it must be so. Free society, free community, no judgment. Okay. So bias is important either on denial section or on believing section. Taking for granted belief, taking for granted unbelief. It is dangerous to use this expression if I mean to blame common people. I don't, inshallah. But whether you claim to believe and practice religion, or you claim not to believe and have nothing to do with religion, because both are based on claim, they have the same value. It's very hard to digest. But he believes in God, he fasts, he prays. I don't know. But attitude is baseless. Whatever it is, whatever you do. So if you read the Quran has this kind of secrets revealed. It says they will say, they have nothing in their scale. That's the illustrative description of human beings in the hereafter. They say. Okay, but hereafter is now. I have nothing in my scale. There is no happiness. There is no relaxed life inward. Why? I do lots of things. Even I made Hajj. Where is it? Where is it? The Quran says, you will find nothing in your scale on that day when God judges who knows your heart. Heart is what? Your claim or not. Conviction, belief, personal. Belief is personal. It never, ever forget this. Everybody is a little bit okay. That much. The more you have conviction, that is what your value is. The rest, without conviction, doing action or rejecting without conviction. Worthless, both sides. This is hard to digest. Unless you experience yourself that, really, I understand without being convinced personally. Imitating the culture doesn't really give anything to me. You experience it, you understand what I mean. Otherwise, I'm not blaming anyone, cannot understand what I mean. You will say, for those, during those days, I was doing this. I thought I was convinced. I understand that there was no basin. Right? So, improvement is different. We shouldn't confuse that as well. You go to first year school, you go to the second year school, there's an improvement process. Yeah. But what, again, in the Quran, God promises. Now, you go to the first year college as a freshman, right? Example. And after 4 years, do they give you a degree according to your knowledge or understanding? According to the degree says, this person knows what he learned in the freshman class. Or do they give you a degree which says this person knows what he or she learned at the highest class? Which one? Degree represents which one? Highest. Quran says the same thing. You may remember the verse. بِأَحْسَنِهَا. Allah will treat you with the action or with your belief at the highest level or actions, highest quality. The less quality is at the back. He will look at the highest one. Do you understand? Do you remember this verse? So, okay. I think if someone searches it, بِأَحْسَنِهَا, search it, and to make sure that the degree is issued according to the last stage you reached. So, what is the point now here? What is the Quran saying? Forget about the freshman class. and the second class. Don't take them and not so. No, build on it. Build on it. I will give you the degree according to the last stage you reached. Conviction, etc. This process is different from remaining ever in imitation. It doesn't work. But somebody may say, you throw everyone who is not perfect into hell. No. That's what we have to learn, what we have to do. Do not remain in the same stage. Make progress, and you will be rewarded to the highest level you reached. So simple. But progress. You may start with imitation, none of my business. You go to the first year, you may just imitate the professor, but at the end, you must continue so that you will say, okay, at the third year, you may say, I understand now what the professor was teaching on the freshman class. That's it. But it needs what? Continuous progress. If there is no continuous progress, you will remain in your imitation forever and die with it. Did you find?
إذا وكتبنا له في الألواح من كل موعظة وتوصيلا
Slowly.
لكل شيء فخذها
No, from the beginning, slowly. Did you find the same verse? No, okay.
Is this the one that you mean?
Slowly read the original text.
وكتبنا له في الألواح من
في
كل في الألواح
Didn't get it.
الألواح
الواحي.
لوح
Sorry? الواح.
Yes.
Okay. الواح. But in Egyptian dialect it becomes الواح. Okay, maybe you are right. I don't know. Don't be
I
ashamed
don't
of it.
know.
That's how you know. Okay.
I don't.
في الألواح, yes.
من كل-
What is recorded? Huh?
Yes.
It means plates or how to say? Yeah, sheets. What is recorded in the sheets?
Yes. من كل شيء موعظة.
من كل شيء I understood in
موعظة.
موعظة. موعظة.
Yes.
It means advice.
Yes.
Yeah, or preaching advice of God, of course. Yeah.
وتفصيلا لكل شيء.
Yeah, when expounding the meaning of everything in this
Yes.
slate.
Yes.
Yeah.
فخذها بقوة.
Sorry, where?
فخذها بقوة. Take it with strength. Yes.
خذها بقوة. Get those advices earnestly.
Yes.
Yeah. This power means really earnestly. Yeah.
وأمر قومك.
وأمر قومك, and ask your people, the people around you.
يأخذوا بأحسنها.
Yeah. خذوا, well, take it with the best part of it for them. No. Okay. I think, is there any other ending show, the other verse?
Do you mean before it or after it, or a continuation?
No.
There's still continuation.
Other verse includes بأحسنها.
No, this is the only one I found.
Okay. It means, when you go to a class.
Oh, do you mean الذين يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه?
I don't mean this, but it's a good also. You know why ahsana? Why those people who follow the word or the message and follow the ahsan means the best one, the best part, because according to your level, that explains this. You go to a class, when the people start speaking, you may not understand something, you may understand something, then take the part you understand best. So if you don't understand something for the moment, of course, on your stage, so the first time you enter the class and the people are talking about something, try to get the best one for you. But if these verses refer to the Quran,
I think this one, the one before was a conversation between Musa and God. The one about the Alwah was a conversation between, this one
so the
is,
Musa and
God. The one about
God.
Al-Alwah was a conversation between Musa and God. This one is
God?
God.
God,
Yes, this one is
the same thing.
I think this is about the Quran. No.
Yeah, I mean, the other one is also speaking to God means, as far as Musa is concerned, revelation, again, representing Quran.
This is
Pardon? No, this is I'm sorry, I lost it. The one I was looking at right now was is in Zumar. It's verse.
Okay, still I couldn't hear
It's
them.
verse 18 in Zumar.
No, but we found them. I'm looking for, in fact, looking for something.
Pardon?
I was looking for something else. But these are all correct. It is it's our nature that we understand this way. Okay. So let's come to this. We have to study the Quran, and we won't be able to understand all of it. It is absolute, cannot be grasped altogether. It's absolute. So take it as much as you can, but apply it to yourself and make sense of it. Now, if it doesn't make sense of something of it, then put it aside and think about it. Maybe inquire. Still doesn't make sense. Leave it. But foundations are important. We have to make sure that foundations are important. Fundamental teaching is important because we are less possible. We are open to less possibility of corrupt in our nature, but in our habit, yes, we are more likely to be affected by the environment in our actions, not nature. Nature is always pure, but even they say, even the diamond gets dusted. Now, diamond doesn't say that no one can corrupt me, okay? In fact, no one, but dust may cover it up. So, diamond is there, but how about our habits? Somebody was, let's say, I don't know. No, I want to find an indifferent example, but I couldn't. Somebody like me has never tasted, like maybe most of you never tasted alcohol. All right? Never tasted. So if someone offers me, I said, no, thank you. Somebody has never smoked. The first time you smoke it, how does it taste? Guess. If you have tried, I did. It is horrible. The people are getting smoke, not cigar, putting their nose on the chimney and getting the smoke, like that. But later on, people become addicted to it. That is what the reality shows that. So Futra rejects, our nature rejects. But if you are grown into an atmosphere, all the friends, your family members, etc., they always smoke. What do? you get accustomed with the smoke. Anyways, you are a second-hand smoker. So you get accustomed and it doesn't really taste so strange for you. And if someone says, smoking is horrible, and this person says, no, well, I smoke, it wasn't horrible. No, because he was growing in it. As far as the action is concerned, action-wise, practical side of the teachings of the Quran is concerned, we may be well influenced by the environment. But environment can never tell you or anyone that this table became a table by itself. That is your nature. You have to question it. They cannot make you believe in it. You may keep hearing it. You may keep questioning it. But as far as the smoking example tells you, you may be getting it from the very babyhood in the house, and you never question it. So action-wise, don't start the Quran and the content of the Quran analyzing the actions presenting to you. It is a wrong approach. It would be a very wrong approach. You cannot understand the teachings of the Quran. What do you have to do now? Main fundamental points, which is belief, fundamental belief system. For example, you may be grown up in a family, in a community. Everybody says, when we die, everything is finished. Right? Don't worry about after death. What will happen? No, when you die, finished. So there is a strong argument, apparently makes sense. What will happen to me when I die? Excuse me, don't worry about it. When you die, you won't be able to ask this. Yeah? That really seems to be correct. But excuse me, I don't ask this question after I die. I ask the question while I'm living. So I see the end of the tunnel as nothing. Can I walk in this tunnel now? Because dead end. Now I stop walking as long as I see that dead end. When you drive, who drives? You drive. If you come at crossroad and one side says dead end, without going into there, do you turn to that side? Dead end. If you want to go further ahead. It's obvious, isn't it? Now you say it doesn't make sense, or you say it makes sense while you are living. So these people, philosophers, by the way, I see that some philosophers, the wise philosophers, are really, they have their bias and they don't know that they have their bias. Okay. They seem to be reasoning very well, but foundation is based on bias. Okay. When it comes or hits their head reasoning, the bias point is, oh, no, I'm not interested in religion. I know it is corrupt. It is garbage. They say, why? Why should I bother? I know already. They cannot bother. They cannot bother because they don't know what it is. Right? They look at the people. And what do they argue? How do they argue? Don't you see religion is causing lots of troubles and wars in the world? Have you heard this argument? Everywhere. Look at the people's attitude. Those are, for example, not only the Muslim side of it. Muslims say that, look, Christianity says we are the religion of love, How about the Crusades in the history? How many people did you kill in the name of love? Yeah, we feel comfortable. Yeah. Crusades are performed by using religion as a means of manipulating people's feeling for political reasons. Just, mostly economic reasons. If you study crusades, really, for booty, invading and getting things and becoming rich, turning back is a victorious man. But what is religion? Now, in the world, you see that Muslims invade the land, some land in certain part of the world, claiming that it is in the name of religion. What do? They establish their own sovereignty there. Yeah, it's a kind of profession. Getting a good job, administrative job. And ECO loves it. I am the commander. And young people, they say, okay, you are going to be the leader of this regiment, all right? Okay, of course, why not? So in the name of religion, they kill people. But it is just ego, yeah, hatred, whatever. We have to know all this. So we have to be careful, the conclusion, we have to be careful. When we study the text, we should not get into an area that the text emphasizes or teaches, not emphasizes, teaches, where I may be under influence of the environment. So I cannot be the judge there. But get the core, start the core of the teachings of the Quran. So what we do, usually those people who deny, if you really look at all the arguments against the teachings of the Quran are based on practical side. They make excuse of what happened in history, the Muslim world. Look at this horrible situation, etc., etc. Yeah, they are troublemakers, the Muslims, or the religious people are really bigoted. So what they do is not controllable. Yeah, because they are doing it in the name of religion. You cannot really prevent them from doing it, because they say, if I am killed, I am a martyr, I don't die anyways, don't worry. How can you stop this man from killing? Right or wrong? How can you stop this man? Because it's a religious base. We have to get rid of this religion, because it becomes violent at the end. That's what they say. So reject religion because practical science. Have you ever seen any philosophy and understanding really seriously saying this Islam is idiot, Quran is idiotic, because it bases this argument on the universe cannot be the source of existence. Have you seen? Because La ilaha, Islam means La ilaha in the core, in the word. There is no creator in the world. That's it. Illallah is the corollary of it. Right? Islam doesn't establish its faith system. By the way, we have to be careful. Islam doesn't establish its faith system on illallah. No. Islam establishes its faith system on La ilaha. Yeah. Have you ever read anything from the Quran? Be careful. It's very strange for the Muslims. Okay. Present day Muslim community. Look, everything is God creating. Or does the Quran establish this argument, saying that show me anything which is creating? What does it mean? Look, God is creating. No. There's no such claim in the Quran. We have to be careful where we are reading it. The language may be misunderstood. But it asks for evidence to show that there is something in the universe which is giving existence to another thing. Show me that they are creating. اروني ماذا يخلقون or تخلقون or خلقت whatever. اروني, show me one thing that you created. La ilaha. Asking the claim, not the claim, challenge in coming up with a counter argument to La ilaha, not illallah. If La ilaha is correct, illallah is the universe exists. There must be a source. Do you know that God is creating the universe? Do you have any evidence that an eternal source is giving existence to it? Yeah? Do you know that the carpenter is making this table? Is making this table. Do you know? No, I haven't seen it. Are you sure that the table is a carpenter or maker? You haven't seen it. But why are you sure that the table has a maker? Why? Have you seen it? No. But there must be a maker. Quran doesn't say, show me the carpenter is making it. What does it say? Show me a way of explaining of the table's existence. It made itself. I understand the argument. Who goes? I have never seen any philosophical argument, any scientist saying that it is giving existence. What says it exists? It exists. So there is no way it is making in this way by itself. Can you show me the quality to make itself into this form by itself? It says, I cannot prove it, but it is making it. I'm seeing it. This is making it. It is becoming. So they don't really bring the evidence against it, and no one argues against the Quran, saying that this Quran is absurd, totally irrational. You know why? Because what it says, there is no creator in the universe. Come on! Isn't that obvious? Everything is the creator in the universe, or something is in the universe. Is there any such argument? I've never seen. Confusion, yes, but I've never seen this clear argument. So we have to start studying the text from the belief system, which is addressing to your uncorruptible side. We have to understand. But habits, praying, fasting, or dressing in this way, not telling a lie, these kind of things are, for example, if someone really grew up in a family setting or in a community that he is not used to something in that way. No one he has seen it, or he has seen something otherwise he has not seen it. And this person takes it for granted that it must be in this way or in that way. And it is very hard for him to understand that this doesn't make sense or makes sense because of this and this, because it is quite normal. I am grown into a family, everybody smokes, and I am grown from the babyhood by taking in the smoke. I am already immune to it. Got it? So don't judge the Quran by starting questioning the action size of it or advices of it. Start from the source and you understand. Okay, let's finish this. I think the time is up. People look tired. Well, I don't see the time.
It's 12:34.
Ah, it's up, yeah. When you read the Quran, it says, when you learn something from the Quran, it should bring you happiness, not stress. Oh, another thing to do now. I didn't know that I had to pay zakat. But I thought it was only prayer. Prayer is cheap and easy. And especially fasting, it's good for you. It's good for your health. It is even cheaper and easier. As you fast, if you fast, not as we understood on Wednesday, last Wednesday in our class, but as it is presented in the community, when we ask them what am I expected to do, one emphasis, from the dawn, you should stop eating until dusk. Not that is fundamental. And if you take care of your life better and read the Quran and do more prayers, it is then how do you say? It gives you the flavor, spice. It's nice. It tastes nice. Spicy. Okay. Got it? But it's easy. It's very easy to fast. But it is really hard to fast in the month of Ramadan. Not in the month of Ramadan. So Ramadan is the month of the Quran. I'm going to fast during the Quran is being revealed. It means I have to pay full attention to the Quranic teaching. Yeah, it is in the month of Quran. It means I have to fast. It keep away from me everything else, but concentrate on the Quran. We don't see it. We have to concentrate on what? Not eating. While we are not eating, preparing everything for iftar. To those people who have been coming to our halakas, you joined us later on. You know, شهر رمضان الذي continue and أنزل فيه. Are you sure? Really? But I knew it شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه الطعام. Practically speaking, I read شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. I understand شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه الطعام. It's a very classical. Have you heard of it before? No? It's a surprise. You must surprise that you did that. Do you understand? Use it for Egyptian joke. Among your friends. Halal joke.
It's very unfair. It's not just Egyptians.
Sorry?
Do that. Not just Egyptians. Do
No,
that.
no, no. You with Egyptians, you with Pakistani, whatever, I don't know, French or Moroccan. I, with some other people, there is no need to mention the name, I don't want. So, something, not specific to. That's what the Muslim community is all about. Read rightly, understand wrongly. Right? But innocent people are interesting. Read wrongly, understand rightly. Innocent people with no bias mentality. They don't know how to read rightly, but they say, I don't know what it means, but we have to really worship God alone. That's it. but they don't know how to read properly the Quran pronunciation, the tajweed, or how they say articulation of the words. They don't know how to do it, but they really devote themselves to Allah without really everything they say Allah. Not everyone who follows tradition. No, 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 no. Innocent people. So don't compare yourself with innocent people. Or I don't compare myself with innocent people, because although my nature is innocent, but I am spoiled it. I was exposed to everything. So I know everything, and not everything, apart from the truth. So I know the truth 1%, 99% what I know is related to false values, ideas, I don't know, maybe culture-wise as well. So we have to see that whatever I read in the Quran must first start with essence of the teaching, fundamental teaching, and see whether it brings you happiness or contradiction. For example, while the car is going forward, if you suddenly take the gear to R, reverse, what happens?
It jerks.
Engine brake, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, something of the transmission or something becomes corrupt, yeah? It means engine brakes. It means the essence of the car is. So if you are living in your life comfortably, when you read the Quran, if you come across something saying that something which does not really fit your nature, but not culture, not information that you learn, but is your essence, no, it can't be. For example, saying that you happen to be like this by chance, which value you can attach to yourself? You are the result of chance. Do you see that I am honorable? I am worth something. I should take something seriously in this world, because you are the result of chance. I feel not at all, feel like doing nothing at all. Why? By chance, I happen to be in this world, and by chance, I'm going to live in this world. I don't care. Everything happens by chance. I don't care. Contradicts, but no, I have to have purpose. I have to have purpose. So contradicts. But when this text says, when you read the Quran, you will face immediately happiness. Otherwise, either you have a biased attitude towards the Quran, or Quran is contradicting itself, what it says. I will bring you happiness here. Bishra, Quran says, give them good news. Felicity for them. Yeah. Muflihun, to are really receive the happiness. What? Muflihun, how do you say? Muflihun. How do you translate it? They are released from all considerations, comfortable, relaxed, falah. Yeah? Reaching falah. Breathing comfortably now. If you are not, there's a problem. Just claiming that I am a Muslim and feeling stressed or something, there's really a problem. It means contradicting lots of things. Right. And founded on pure revelation. Of course, we cannot study, but if you want, we can. Otherwise, we can continue. Okay? We can study revelation if you go pure revelation, okay? What does it mean? All right. Today is 11. Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم اللهم الحمد لله. Did you want to say something that you wanted once an
No,
hour ago?
no, it got clear. I was just wondering again, what are proofs?
Sorry?
What are the proofs, all 6 sides of this luminous proof? Proof being
Where is it?
the
Happiness and hope.
paragraph we read today, the initial part where it says all 6 sides of this luminous proof. What was proof again?
Like evidence.
The Quran.
The Quran.
What are they?
The first
The
sentence.
prophet,
of
which
the
one? The previous
First
paragraph or
sentence.
this paragraph we read?
The
Where is it?
paragraph
All
we
6
just read.
sides of this
She's
luminous
saying what is proof referring
As a
to?
proof.
Yeah, proof of
Yeah.
what? Like, so because the topic is third proof, the Quran,
Yeah, luminous proof.
of the Quran.
Yeah, we discussed on it. And we gave do you remember that we gave the example of Solomon's palace in the Quran example? It is so clear that everybody can see and agree with. So the Quran, what are they? All the Quran. Read it, but start from the foundations. You will understand that it is if it is not the proof, yeah, for it means confirms your nature. Then don't read it. Reject it. Why should you bother about it? Because it doesn't really confirm your nature. It doesn't confirm fundamentally what it teaches you. Reject it. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Insha'Allah. Now, what I understand that people voted. Shall we wait another week to see if some people will come and join on Saturday who cannot do it in whatever? Let me close this one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.